Morning, Army. It's Heidi Allen, founder of the Positive People Army. How is everyone doing on this amazing Wednesday? Still a little cold out there, but the sun is shining like I can't even believe. So, of course, we're trying some new things this year in 2018. And so Wednesdays are going to become the PPA's Positive Words Wednesday. And what that means is I'm going to be sharing stories. I'm going to be sharing stories, my own personal stories, stories that I've heard, stories that some of you have told me, stories that I've read about, stories that all have a really great, incredible, positive message to them. So today I want to share a story about regret. Because regret is something where some people, good morning, Sam, good morning, you're joining again. It must be so early where you are right now. So regret is something where it can consume us, and sometimes it's hard to get past it. So with this particular story, it actually comes from a moment where I saw a Facebook post from a friend of mine. So I saw this post, and in this post, she said, I don't regret my past, but I regret the people that I've wasted my time with. And so when I read this post, I actually sat for a second and I was like, See, I knew something about this particular person that maybe other people that were reading it didn't know. And what I did know is that years earlier, she had had some heartbreak. Her husband had broken her heart. It had been a really hard breakup for her. And now, reading this particular post, I was like, wow, she's still in that moment. She's still in that place of regret that can consume you and all of a sudden start narrowing your vision. So I sat with it for a minute and I thought, my gosh, like how long can one human being hold on to that regret from so many years earlier without finally falling apart? See, when we have those negative emotions within us, sometimes it gets really hard. So I decided to tell her a story. So this is the story I'm going to tell all of you. So years and years and years earlier, now this was back my graduating year of high school. My graduating year of high school, I worked for a nursing agency. And the nursing agency that I worked for, I was always a person that always wanted to take care of people. This particular nursing agency, what I would do is it was a private nursing agency. So I would go into people's homes, like older people where they would need, some help in the home, maybe some help with their personal care. And I was also, sometimes I would be scheduled to go and work in a nursing home. And I actually really loved working in the nursing home. I loved it a lot because for me, I was just fascinated with the characters there, like absolutely fascinated. There was men with incredible war stories, men and women that would tell me stuff that I'd only ever read about. There was even one woman, I'm not lying to you, that said she was one of the last survivors of the Titanic. And she would wake up screaming sometimes in the night that she was drowning. I don't know to this day if she was. She could have been. But anyway, she had claimed that she was from the Titanic. So for me, being so young, I just felt so privileged to have, been able to have this experience and to meet these particular people. So I graduated high school, and after I graduated, I decided to take a year off before I went to university. In fact, if you can believe this, I even had a moment, more than a moment, where I even thought maybe I won't go to university. It's really funny, the mindset when you think about who you were so long ago. So I was like, maybe I won't go to university. So I decided to just work full time. So of course I was still working for the nursing agency. So working along, and now more and more they're scheduling me in this nursing home, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And then they approached me and said, we would like to hire you full time for this position in the nursing home. And I have to tell you, back then, I am like 18 years old. I don't even think I'm 19 at this time. This was like the biggest thing that had happened in my life. A full-time job, a union job, benefits, vacation pay, more money than I had ever earned in my entire life. So, of course, I enthusiastically accepted the position. And when I accepted it, they told me I had a 3-month probation. So for me, this became everything. I was like, I cannot wait for my 3-month probation to be up, to get those official papers, to be taking on something that is so huge, so grown up, so mature. Like I just felt like this was everything. So I'm working towards my 3-month probation being up. And then one particular day, as I'm helping another nurse lift a patient into the bed out of their wheelchair, I somehow wrenched my back. I don't know how I did this. I seriously have no idea how I did this. But I truly believe that this was fate stepping in. For me, this was fate. So I went through my shift. My back was getting sore. It was now it's excruciating. So I finally go to the emergency room, and thank God there was nothing wrong. It was just that I had definitely strained and injured my back. And so the doctor told me, you need to take 1 week off. So I took a week off. So then all of a sudden my week is up. I'm like bouncing my step. I'm back to work. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be back with all the patients. And then on my first break, the manager calls me down to her office, and I'm like, this is it. I am totally getting my official papers today. I am in. I have this amazing job. But of course, I'd already let you know that fate was stepping in. And as I sat down in that chair, my manager said to me, Heidi, I'm terribly sorry, but we're going to have to let you go today. What? What do you mean you're letting me go? And they said, well, you've had an injury before your 3-month probation is up. And because of that, you are now classified a medical risk. Me, I was classified. I'm like 18, 19 years old, a medical risk. I was shocked. I can't even describe to you the shock and upset that consumed me in that moment. So I left, and now for days and weeks, I replayed the injury over and over again. How could I have been so careless? How could I have let this happen? How? This was everything. This was my dream job. At least that's what I thought. So what was now happening was regret was taking me over. Regret. So a number of weeks went by that I've been wallowing in my misery and regret, and I finally had to take a job waitressing. So I started waitressing, and it was fine, but of course I'm miserable. So one particular Sunday while I was waitressing, one of the nurses that I had worked with at the nursing home came in with her family. The moment I saw her, I'm not lying to you, I literally ducked behind a wall. I was like, oh my God, I cannot see her. Like, I just can't see this woman. I begged another waitress to take the table. And she said, Heidi, I'm swamped. You have to take it. So out of choices, I had to walk over to the table to be her waitress. The moment I saw her, I'll never forget this. She jumped up and hugged me. Heidi, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. It's so amazing to see you. How are you? And I said, I have to tell you, like, I'm not great. Like, I'm not. Like, I've been so depressed. I've been so upset. Like, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I got let go. Like, I'm regretting what happened. And she looked at me like, shocked, like completely shocked, like this. What? And I said, yeah. She's like, oh, sweetheart, you were never supposed to work at the nursing home. Fate stepped in, honey. Can't you see this? Can't you see that what happened to you was such a blessing? Was a blessing. You were never meant to be there. I'm not saying that you weren't great, but honey, you have a light. You have more to offer the world than working at the nursing home. Like, I think it's time for you to let go of that regret and see what this is and go find out what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. Don't do this. And I was like, huh? How? How did this woman see something that I didn't? How? I'd been so consumed with regret that it was taking over, that negativity was taking over me. I didn't see it, but she did. So fate did step in that particular day. So I was just so overwhelmed by everything that was happening. So I'll never forget her words. And I went home and I thought really hard about this. and really hard. And the more I started to think about it, the more I started to see a different perspective here, that maybe this was a blessing. Maybe this was supposed to happen. So I got in my car one day, drove down to the university, and started the enrollment. And from that day, I've never looked back. I've never looked back. Think about it. If I hadn't have injured my back, if fate had not intervened, I would be a completely different human being right now. It's unimaginable, the person that I may have become. Because I got to tell you, I kind of like this person. So from that day, I realized that every single thing in life truly does happen for a reason. Every single one of them happens for a reason. So instead of being so consumed by the regret of what did happen, what happened in the past, it's time for you to move forward and learn from it and go forward. So to my lovely friend from the very beginning who posted that quote, which made me tell this story, I offered her another quote. Instead of the quote that she wrote that said, I don't regret my past. I just regret the people I wasted my time on. I gave her a quote that said, sweetheart, the longer you keep looking at that door, that closed door, you're gonna miss the window opening. And believe me, I almost did. I almost did. And thank God that I didn't. And that's why I reached out to her. So Army, if there's any of you listening to my story today about regret, and you have that moment, you're regretting something from your past, something you said, something you did, something you didn't do, whatever it is, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice here. 3 things. I want you to name it. Name it. Name what it is you're regretting. Because when you name it, you understand the truth of it. The truth of it. Once you've named it, you can claim it. And as soon as you claim something, you own it. You own it and you learn from it. And then once you have that, you are no longer at the mercy. And my God, Army, you can transform it and change it. So, there we go, Army. This was, oh my gosh, thank you so many. There's so many of you that have joined me today for this story. Thank you. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, everyone that has joined me for this story. I really hope you enjoyed it. So every Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing an incredible story with you. And like I said, it'll either be a story from myself, my personal story, a story that I've read, a story that maybe one of you is going to share with me. So today, I want you to all name it, claim it, transform it. Regret does not belong with you. Have a great day, everyone.